when a person dies without a valid will, their property is distributed according to intestate succession laws. Intestate succession refers to the legal rules that determine how a deceased person's assets are divided among their heirs. India, with its diverse religious and cultural landscape, has a complex system of inheritance laws. These laws vary depending on the religious affiliation of the deceased. Understanding these laws is crucial for ensuring a smooth and fair distribution of assets. This essay aims to provide a simplified overview of intestate and succession laws in India. This exploration will cover the key legislation applicable to different religious communities, including Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and Parsis. It will also delve into the step-by-step process of intestate succession, shedding light on the roles of legal heirs, certificates, and property distribution. The Hindu Succession Act, 1956, marked a significant turning point in Indian inheritance law. This act governs the succession and inheritance of property for Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs. It introduced several reforms, particularly concerning the rights of women. Prior to this act, daughters had limited inheritance rights, especially in ancestral property. The act brought about greater gender equality by granting daughters equal coparcenary rights. This means daughters have an equal right to inherit ancestral property by birth, just like sons. The act abolished the concept of a limited estate for women. Women now have absolute ownership rights over their inherited property. They are free to dispose of it as they wish. The Hindu Succession Act lays out a clear framework for intestate succession. If a Hindu man dies without a will, his property is distributed equally among his Class 1 legal heirs. This includes his mother, widow, and children, both sons and daughters. Similarly, the property of a Hindu woman dying intestate is divided among her children and husband. If she has no children, her husband's heirs will inherit. The Act emphasizes the concept of a joint Hindu family. It outlines the rights and responsibilities of coparceners, who have a birthright to ancestral property. The Act also recognizes the concept of testamentary succession, allowing individuals to create a will to specify how they want their property to be distributed. This ensures that their wishes are respected even after their passing. The Indian Succession Act, 1925, primarily governs intestate succession for Christians and Parsis. It also applies to individuals who have married under the Special Marriage Act, 1954, regardless of their religion. This act lays down a system of distribution based on consanguinity, giving priority to closer relatives. For Christians, the spouse and children are the primary heirs. If there are no children, the estate is distributed among other close relatives like parents, siblings, and their descendants. Parsis follow a similar system, with the spouse and children inheriting first. The Indian Succession Act also includes provisions for testamentary succession, enabling individuals to create wills and distribute their property according to their wishes. This act plays a crucial role in ensuring a structured and equitable distribution of assets for Christians, Parsis, and those who choose a secular form of marriage. Section 5. Muslim Personal Law and Inheritance. Muslims in India are governed by Muslim personal law, also known as Shariat, for matters of inheritance. The Shariat is based on Islamic principles and is derived from the Quran and Sunnah. Unlike other religious communities, Muslim inheritance is not governed by a codified law. Under Islamic law, the distribution of property is based on the concept of fixed shares. The Quran specifies the share that each heir is entitled to receive. The primary heirs include the spouse, children, parents, and siblings of the deceased. The share of inheritance varies depending on the relationship with the deceased and gender. For instance, a son inherits twice the share of a daughter. While this system has been criticized for gender disparity, it is deeply rooted in Islamic tradition and continues to be followed by Muslims in India. Section 6. The Special Marriage Act, a secular option. The Special Marriage Act, 1954, provides a secular framework for marriage in India. Couples from different religions can choose to marry under this act, opting out of their respective personal laws. This act has significant implications for inheritance as well. When a person married under the Special Marriage Act dies intestate, their property is distributed according to the Indian Succession Act, 1925. This applies regardless of their religious background. This provision ensures uniformity and avoids conflicts arising from different religious laws. The Special Marriage Act provides a secular alternative for couples who wish to bypass the complexities of personal laws. It promotes interfaith harmony and ensures a uniform system of inheritance for those who choose to marry under its provisions. Section 7. Navigating the intestate succession process. When a person dies intestate in India, a structured process is followed to distribute their assets. Understanding this process is essential for legal heirs to claim their rightful inheritance. The first step involves identifying all the legal heirs of the deceased. This is determined by the relevant religious or secular law applicable to the deceased. Once the legal heirs are identified, they need to obtain a legal heir certificate. This certificate serves as proof of their relationship with the deceased and their right to inherit property. The legal heir certificate is typically issued by a local revenue authority or a court. It is an important document required for various legal and administrative purposes, including property transfer and claiming insurance benefits. Section 8. Identifying legal heirs and obtaining certificates. The process of identifying legal heirs can be complex, especially in cases of large families or disputes. It is essential to gather all relevant documents, such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, and death certificates. These documents establish the relationship between the deceased and the potential heirs. Once the legal heirs are identified, they can apply for a legal heir certificate from the competent authority. The application typically requires supporting documents and may involve a small fee. The issuing authority will verify the documents and conduct an inquiry to confirm the legitimacy of the heirs. Obtaining a legal heir certificate is a crucial step in the intestate succession process. It not only establishes the legal heirs, but also facilitates a smooth transfer of assets and prevents potential disputes. Section 9. Distribution of property and settlement of debts. After obtaining the legal heir certificate, the next step is the distribution of the deceased's property. The distribution is carried out according to the provisions of the relevant succession law. The legal heirs receive their respective shares as stipulated by the law. It is important to note that the deceased's debts and liabilities are settled before the distribution of assets. The legal heirs are responsible for settling these debts from the estate. Only after clearing the debts can the remaining assets be distributed among the heirs. In case of disputes arising during the distribution process, the legal heirs can approach the court for resolution. The court will adjudicate the matter and pass orders for a fair and equitable distribution of the deceased's assets. Section 10. Importance of understanding intestate succession laws. Understanding intestate succession laws is crucial for everyone. It helps individuals plan their estate and ensure that their assets are distributed according to their wishes, even in the absence of a will. For legal heirs, knowledge of these laws is essential for claiming their rightful inheritance. It empowers them to navigate the legal complexities and protect their interests. These laws provide a framework for the orderly and fair distribution of a deceased person's property. They aim to prevent disputes and ensure that justice is served. By understanding these laws, individuals can make informed decisions, avoid potential conflicts, and contribute to a smoother succession process for their families. Awareness and knowledge of intestate succession laws are fundamental for upholding the rights and interests of individuals and families in India.